Howdy. Okay, this is a quick one about whether or not the Xfactor is good. Not so much going to answer that question, more just abuse people who are the panel on the Xfactor. Okay, so I haven't watched it in a long time, but the last time I checked there was 3 people? 4. There was Simon Cowell, Louis Theroux was on there, Cheryl Cole, I know that, but we're going to call her Cheryl Crow from now on, and Danny Minogue, aka Kylie. She's practically the same person. Okay, so let's assess each and every one of them and how awful they all are, because there's no getting away from the truth. They're all disgusting humans. One, let's not start with Simon, because that would just be too easy. Let's start with Danny. Okay, she's Australian, right? At least I believe she is. She's tried to integrate into our world and what have you, but it's not happening. Go back to Australia. I think we should send her back, deport her. I think we should deport most of them, but I'll start with Danny and my reasons. She should be deported straight back to Australia, but not just sent away on a plane or whatever. We should do it old school, like when they used to do it in the 18th century, and they used to transportation. They used to put them on a ship, and they used to just send them to Australia, and it used to take fuck knows how long, something like 4 years, I reckon, on the sea, just travelling about. And because these were criminals back then, and that's before Australia was Australia, and it was just a landmass that we were colonising with criminals, really, effectively. And so we should send her in one of these boats, and they used to give them little tasks to do, so only fair we should keep up to date with that. And they used to give them hundreds and hundreds of feet of rope, and they used to tell them to unthread it, and then thread it back together again. And this used to take months, right? You get one thread wrong, the whole thing fucks up. So they used to just do that for hours and hours and weeks, days, months, millennia. And so we could give her that task to do. She'd be pretty happy. And then that's it really. She gets back home. Little hands that become skilled at threading rope. Might be able to get her a job back there, something to do with rope. And Louis McTheroux, he's Irish, so we've got to send him to Ireland, and send him back there so he can peel as many potatoes as he likes, peel to his heart's content, and make some smash. Because that's the greatest invention, potatoes in powder form. Who knew? So send him there to play with some potatoes, then Louis McTheroux to make some potatoes, and hopefully Ireland to get the famine again, and then he can immigrate to America. That way he'll be even further away from us. Once he's there, I guess he can shoot up on some heroin and dive down the chimney. Okay, Louis fucked off. Cheryl Cole, if you wanna get Latin about it. She's a bit annoying. Since I renamed her Cheryl Crow, not for any particular reason, but we could put her in a film, call it The Crow, and there's a scene where she gets shot, and bullets just so happen to get put into the gun. It's meant to be firing blanks. So on a stage and a set, with all the cameramen around, all the sound men, with all their little booms and shit, and all their little headphones on, they're all waiting there for the scene, trying to get the gun shot and everything, and poof, fucking brains all up the backdrop, and all on the director's legs, and on the co-star's eyelids. It's mayhem. Her head just exploded because the gun was a 12 gauge shotgun, and It was pretty hideous, really. I didn't just make this up, by the way, it's actually true, except it didn't happen to Cheryl Cole. It happened to Brandon Lee, I think it's Brandon Lee, who was Bruce Lee's son, and he was in the film The Crow, and was shot on the shoot. No pun intended. It was meant to be blanks in a gun, but somehow or someone had replaced them with live ammunition, and he was killed during the making of that film, which is a bit dodgy, really, a bit horrific, because he was a young lad and his dad died quite young as well, so quite a sad thing, I guess. I don't know, and I have no opinion on it, I just guess. And yeah, so we could do that to her, except it wasn't a shotgun that killed him, it was just some sort of handgun or something. Maybe a Glock, could have been a 44, I'm not sure, I'm no gun expert. Anyway, yeah, so that's what we do with Cheryl, since there's no real easy way to get rid of her. She didn't come from another country, unless it was fucking Saudi Arabia or something, where they can get executed for not wearing enough clothes, and that'd be a possibility as well. You know, no blood on my hands that way. Okie dokie, on to the main man, the big boss, Simon Cowell himself. So now we've got rid of Danny, got her back to Australia. Louise back in Ireland picking potatoes, and Cheryl Cole died on the set of The Crow. And so Simon, where do we begin with him? Well, I think, to be fair, he should be hung, drawn and quartered. Yeah, should definitely be hung, drawn and quartered, because he has really quite turned music in on itself, so that it's sort of like an ingrown toenail, to the point where it just kills itself from ingrowing so deeply. Yeah, and it has to be amputated like some sort of gangrene limb before it spreads into any other sort of area, maybe media, any other form of media, film, arts, I don't know. It's gone so fucking wrong that it has to be amputated quickly before it spreads. So he deserves to be hung, drawn and quartered, like I said. But I definitely think whilst he's being hung, he should be beaten with microphones. It's only appropriate. And that's really all I can think that to do with Simon. I mean, the others, I got rid of 2 of them because I don't want to kill them all. Not in that case. I want to get rid of them, you know, but if they've got no countries to go to, well, then I just kill them. Yes, I am in that case. But, well, I didn't do it. The guy with the blanks did it to Cheryl, so I actually haven't killed anyone yet. But Simon, I don't know how we'd get around that. We could send him to LA, since he's got like some multi-million-dollar pad in fucking LA, where he's like fucking next door to Tom Cruise, and fucking, I don't know, he's a bit of a dick. So we could send him to LA, but then again I still think if he's doing all this shit, you know, just in another country, same shit in another country, and it spread. It's, you know, it's like cancer, you can never really defeat it. I mean, people get rid of cancer, but it sort of comes back. I mean, you know, you're lucky if it doesn't, and that's the same rule applies with Simon Cowell. I think you're lucky if he doesn't come back. And to be fair, I don't want to be relying on luck. I'd rather get him out of the way, and then I'd be happy to live the rest of my life safely, soundly, without Simon Cowell in the back of my mind.